Chapter 5, Season 1 is coming to an end, and you know what that means. I have to talk about it, which is not necessarily something that I intended to do, considering YouTube has been funky with me lately, but it appears as though I am making a slight comeback, so that's pretty cool. But hey, let's talk about this season, right? Because this season was interesting. I mean, at the start, it was definitely a lot more fun than it is right now. There was a really bad lull period in the middle, and I feel like the state of the game is definitely an iffy one, so I just want to get off my ass, I want to talk about it, and I want to just, review it, I guess is a good way of putting it. I've done this for every single season since I started doing YouTube, and I'm gonna continue it. No, I'm not bringing back the whole thing that I did with Wilds or that I intended to do with Last Resort. I'm not doing that. Anyways, Chapter 5, Season 1 of Fortnite Battle Royale. Let's get into it. What do I think of it? How do I feel about it? And was it a good season? So right off the bat, I'm just gonna be blunt with you guys. This season was just okay. I don't think it was a very good season 1 per se, but it also wasn't the worst season 1, not by a long shot. That still goes to Chapter 2, Season 1. Chapter 5, Season 1 started out pretty strong in my opinion. Of course, we had all the different modes coming out at the time, but as someone who still mainly plays the BR and creative, I don't play creative, but I work on creative maps, but mostly BR, that's what I'm talking about here. I personally think that this season had a very good start. I feel like all the new weapons felt different at the start, and especially with the movement changes, it was a little funky for a little bit there. People had to take time to kind of get used to it. I know people were arguing online and yelling and complaining, but I'm not going to get into that because that's just something I don't want to talk about. At the start of the season, I definitely enjoyed this season. I feel like that first month was pretty good. We got Winterfest. The map wasn't inherently covered in snow, but there was a lot of snow around the map, and those were pretty fun areas to fight in. And in general, I just think that the start of the season was pretty fun. I enjoyed it. The loophole was weird to start. First of all, they changed the bullet, the way bullets work. Instead of them just being hit scan, they are now projectile based, which I actually think is a welcome change. In general, I feel like I've been beamed a lot less with this season, which I am a fan of. I feel like it kind of nerfs the whole spray meta ideology there, where with the projectile weapons, you could just beam people because where you're aiming is where your bullet's going to go. It's not going to drop off or anything. There's no actual bullet travel, and there really was less skill when it came to having good aim with the game. Now it feels like you actually have to train your aim, which is pretty fucking nice. I think that that's a welcome change, and overall, I am a big fan of how the weapons feel this season. I still have my critiques though. Firstly, I don't like the weapon animations. The pullout animations are all the exact same. They're very boring, whereas in the past few chapters, it feels like they've been getting very unique with their weapon animations. Pullouts always felt unique and fun. Reload animations felt fun. They felt quick, snappy. And if they were slow, it made sense on as to why they were slow. Perhaps it was like a sniper where the bullet does so much fucking damage that a slow reload is just a welcome nerf. In general, I think the weapons this season are 50-50 for me. I like how they feel, I like how they fire, but when it comes to animations and all that, they're just very boring, and it feels like they were made for a first-person game as opposed to a third-person game. But that's just my opinion. I just wasn't a fan of the animations, but they still felt pretty good. Now, I'm gonna get to the elephant in the room. The shotgun meta this season was not very good. I don't think either of the shotguns are very enjoyable to use. The Frenzy Auto, man, Epic, what were you cooking? You weren't cooking shit with this shotgun. I'm gonna be honest with you. I didn't like the Frenzy Auto. It honestly hurt a core part of the season for me. At the start of the season, I mainly used the pump shotgun because I've never been a fan of the more automatic shotguns, unless it's something like the tac shotgun or the Maven auto shotgun where it still requires a bit of skill. I just generally did not like auto shotguns. I've always been a fan of the pump shotguns, but this season the pump was weak. I'm sure, obviously you can do 190 headshot, but it feels like I have to be right in front of someone's face, and most of the times, if I'm right in front of someone's face, they're going to whip out the Frenzy Auto Shotgun. This shotgun is arguably one of the most overpowered pieces of slop they've ever put into the game, and ruins a large majority of the game. It feels like if you're not running this thing and you get into close encounters, which I'm going to be honest, is where a lot of people shine with this game. I heard my voice crack and it just dawned on me that my voice cracked. That's awesome. I'm leaving it in. Like, when most of your fights are going to be close encounters, especially in a game like Fortnite, having an OP shotgun like this with no countermeasures whatsoever just feels like a fucking death sentence. In my opinion, it would have been better if they had just unvaulted an older pump shotgun, if they were so intent on keeping the Frenzy Auto in the game. I've seen so many people complaining about this weapon online, it's not even funny. This gun, to me, almost ruined the entire season for me. For a good chunk of it, I just was not enjoying this game whatsoever. However, I will say it's not the worst season ever. I still feel like the OG drum gun, or drum shotgun, my bad, was way more annoying. But in general, I don't like this gun. And I actually, you know what? I'm going to take back what I said about the OG drum shotgun. The Frenzy Auto is way worse. Epic, remove this next season. I'm begging you. I'm on my knees. Remove it. If you don't remove it, I don't know what I'm gonna do or feel. But in general, that's really the only complaint loot pool wise I had was the shotguns. Of course, there's other items that were annoying. Cluster clingers, I just never picked these up because I don't like cluster clingers. But fighting them, I don't know, man. If someone threw them at me and they hit it, it was just very annoying. And then the riot shield, I honestly learned to work around. I don't think it's as annoying anymore. But at the start of the season, man, that shit was very annoying. Now, loot pool aside, I want to talk about the map real quick because I love talking about the Fortnite map in general. My favorite part of new season is always seeing the map updates, the map changes. You know, new weapons are cool, but the map has always been my favorite part of Fortnite. That's just me. And if you ask me, I think this map has a lot going for it, but it's very, very lackluster. Now, just to start it off, I do prefer the Chapter 5 map to the Chapter 4 map. I feel like the overall layout of it in general is just better. I enjoy fighting on it more. It doesn't feel like there's as much like high ground, low ground ratio. Like, it's not as extreme like the Chapter 4 map was, where it was either you're on extreme low ground or you're on extreme high ground, and especially in zero build, that's kind of a curse. This map feels very well made landscape wise. The locations are where I feel like it starts to fumble. I don't like a lot of the locations on this map. I don't like Reckless Railways. I don't like, what is it, Ruined Reels. I can't even think of the Peter Griffin POI's name. I'm going to be honest, a lot of the locations are very forgettable. The only two I can remember off the top of my head are Lavish Lair because of Oscar's Frenzy Auto Shotgun, Classy Courts, oh, and I can remember Pleasant because I actually enjoy landing there. But those three are the only locations I can remember off the top of my head, just because a lot of them are very boring. Rebel's Roost, I just remembered for some reason. Extremely boring POI. There's literally a mansion to the south that is significantly better. There's henchmen there. There's a vault, and it's overall bigger. You're going to get more loot there than you would be getting at Rebel's Roost. It is the lamest POI on the map. Please remove it next season just because it's boring. There's no reason for it to exist. I don't know. I don't like it. And in general, I just feel like a lot of the POIs just need work. The colors on the map are also very muted, which I don't think fits Fortnite very well. Fortnite is a very colorful, cheery game, despite, you know, the fact that it's a shooter. It's goofy. It's not serious. And in a battle pass where we have Peter fucking Griffin in the game, I just generally feel like having a map with these muted color schemes and having it be more, I guess, serious is weird, especially considering the main story plot of the season is that a fucking banana got kidnapped. A banana got kidnapped and Jones has to save it. That's the whole story, which, by the way, just wrapped up. And guess what? He saved it, and there wasn't any build-up. He just saves Peely. It's fucking dumb, and I don't like it because I don't know. Like the map is just, I don't know. The map is really iffy for me. I enjoy fighting on it. I think that there's some good, like, fighting potential, I guess, on the map. And this map definitely has potential, but it just needs to be worked on. I still prefer it to the Chapter 4 map, because with the Chapter 4 map, I just didn't like the extreme high ground, extreme low ground. I like the vibe of it. It was way more vibrant, but in general, I just prefer the Chapter 5 map for reasons that I don't know. I just like it more. I will say Chapter 4 had a better art direction. It was still goofy. It was still silly. It didn't really feel too serious. But, man, if this chapter didn't feel very serious, I don't know, man. It would definitely be better than Chapter 2 for me. But I don't know. I feel like this map is still pretty weak in general. But it'll get better. I have faith in Epic. I think it'll get better, especially with these new season leaks we have coming out. I'm not going to talk about those right now, though. There might be another video for that. Who the fuck knows? Then, of course, we have the updates this season. I'm going to say it right now, I enjoyed Winterfest. I thought Winterfest was pretty fun. I know a lot of people didn't really like it, but I thought it was fun. The items that we got for the free stuff weren't that great. I don't like that they didn't bring back the cabin. That was kind of lame, but in general, you know, the Icy Grappler for the few days that was out was pretty cool before they brought back the normal Grappler, which was also pretty good. The Winterberg POI was pretty cool, you know. It was a little area, but hey, at least we got something, you know. Loot Island being changed was awesome. I actually really liked that. And there was a few POIs with more decorations than last Fort Nightmares, which got, you know, nothing. And overall, I thought it was a fun little Winterfest. It wasn't anything serious. We got Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in the game during Winterfest. We got the first few skins. We got the turtles themselves, you know, Leo, Donnie, Raph, and Mikey. And we got April O'Neil alongside them. I don't know why I didn't wait on them, but hey, you know what? They brought them out at this time, and it was pretty cool. Then, after Winterfest, it was rough. I'm not gonna lie. It was pretty fucking rough BR-wise. We didn't really have much content. We got a couple of unvaults, but they didn't change up the gameplay too much. Then we got the Solid Snake update, where Solid Snake was available through the Battle Pass, and we got a couple of items for him. We got the Shieldbreaker EMP, which is useless in my opinion. We got the Anvil Rocket Launcher, which has its uses, but I don't typically pick this thing up. And the best of all, we got the cardboard box item. Wow, yeah, we really waited 40 days for a fucking cardboard box. That sure was something. That update, I feel like, just kind of highlights that part of the season. It was extremely dry. You know, playing the game just wasn't very fun. And in general, I feel like this middle part of Fortnite Chapter 5 Season 1 just wasn't very fun. However, I do want to talk about something that brought me back around, and that was the Ninja Turtles update. So we got the Cowabunga event, I believe is what they called it, where we had a mini pass. You could buy it for 1,000 V-Bucks, and you could get Shredder and Super Shredder, which was awesome. You got a bunch of emotes, a bunch of other little cosmetics. That was cool. In game, we got 4 Ninja Turtle mythics. We got Leo's katanas, Raph's sai, Donnie's bow staff, and Mikey's nunchaku. Love all of these. They all do the same damage. They just have different animations. I personally always go for the bow staff just because I feel like the animations are the most fun. After that would be nunchuck, sai, and then katanas, because I don't know, katanas, I'm just not feeling them. But you know what? They all do the same damage, so I can't really be picky or choosy or anything. It's just an animation thing, you know. I don't know. What am I saying here? These mythics are fun as fuck. I love them. I love every bit of them. And of course we have quests. They are still going on. Things haven't really ended yet, but I can say for absolute certainty that not much is going to change between now and the end of the season. So I do want to say the TMNT event was probably the highlight of the season for me. I feel like this season, just in general, is very okay. I'm going to give it a solid 6 out of 10 from me personally, because I feel like if there was just more content in the middle of the season, it would have been more enjoyable. I feel like with the season 1, you really want to set a standard for the chapter going forward. Even chapter 4 season 1 set a standard, which was, you know, fun, crazy, wild items in the season, you know, themes that didn't really make sense when flowing into each other. And while I am generally a chapter 4 hater, I still feel like the chapter 4 season 1 had more content than this season alone. I don't know if that's just me, but Most Wanted in general was such a fun little event, and comparing it to the TMNT event, I think Most Wanted was just better. I love the TMNT event. I love Ninja Turtles. I use these skins a lot, but I don't think that it makes up for the season as a whole. I feel like this season is just struggling to really feel like Fortnite, I guess is a good way of putting it. There's not very many goofy, fun, silly items. Where's the boogie bombs, you know? Like, stuff like that is just not present. It feels too serious. And I understand we have Ninja Turtle items in the game right now. We have, like, the drift boards in the game, but it just doesn't feel like there's any Fortnite-like items in the game to really shake it up. I love the Ninja Turtle mythics. I've said that a billion times, and I would be happy if they stayed in the game until the end of the season. They probably won't, but I wish they would. I feel like with this season, it struggled to really feel like Fortnite in the item category. Again, love the weapons other than the shotguns. Love the new map other than the POIs. Like, there's always a, I like this, but I also don't like this. It's really weird, and I'm so mixed on the season that I just don't feel like I can give it a very positive rating. I feel like Epic Games are definitely about to come around with this new season, since the themes look like it's going to be Greek mythology, but as more info comes out, I'll cover that as well. In general, this season, I just feel like it could have been better. I really feel like it could have been better. It feels like Epic Games are kind of stepping into a new era of Fortnite, and they're just experimenting, and they're taking things slowly, but I feel like they're going to hit their stride going into Season 2. They always typically do that, but I also feel like Season 1s also tend to be good, so I don't know, but this is the first Season 1 since Chapter 2 Season 1 that I feel like it's just not my thing. It's just truly, ultimately, not a very cash money season, I guess is a good way of putting it, and I'm looking forward to Season 2 more than any other chapter, but that's just me. Anyways, that's all for this video. I've been locking replies due to reasons I don't really want to discuss at the moment, but I guess I hope you enjoyed the season. I thought it was still okay. I still had some fun with it, but I feel like comparing it to Fortnite OG was just better. It was the better season, and I feel like anyone can see that. Looking forward to Season 2. See you guys in whenever I upload again. Yeah, peace.